Out of all the gates, the first one we're gonna do is the NOT gate, which is a gate that if the input is 1, it needs to give us a 0 in return, or the other way around. If the input is 0, it needs to give us a 1. So we are starting with the lamp first. Yeah, as you can see, a lamp. And we place it on the breadboard. Then she puts 2 wires next to our lamp, which is gonna connect it to the other devices that we're about to put on the breadboard. Next, we have a 330 ohm resistor in our hands, which she's gonna put next to the end of the wire, which is connected to our lamp. One leg of the resistor will be on the base of the breadboard, while the other is on the positive side. And we have an NPN transistor here, which we're gonna place on the board, and there's gonna be a wire between the resistor and this transistor, which is gonna connect them. And then she takes a 2000 ohm resistor and puts it right in front of the transistor. And then there's this wire, which one of its ends is connected to the free leg of the transistor, while the other stays on the negative side. One of the parts is this little push button, which is going to be placed near the 2000 ohm resistor. Then to one of its legs, we're gonna connect a wire, and the other end of the wire is gonna be on the positive side. And here is power supply module, and according to the signs on it, positive to positive and negative to negative, we're gonna place it on our breadboard. Then later we turned it on, and as you can see, the lamp is turned on, which it should be because no one is pressing the button. But later when Nargis presses the button, it turns off. Because as we mentioned before, if the input is 1 in NOT gate, it's gonna give us a 0. And with this, we're happily done with our first gate, which allows us to go to our next one, which is OR. To start off our OR gate, we first put on the lamp. And just like the NOT gate, we put on a 330 ohm resistor next to our lamp. And next to this resistor, he puts 3 NPN transistors, one of them a little above the other two. And then he takes 2 of the 2000 ohm resistors and puts them in front of the third and the second transistor. Then, after placing the push button, he takes the wires and then connects the lamp, transistor, and the resistors to each other. And then, the last one of the 2000 ohm resistors is placed next to the 330 ohm one. Then he connects the last 2 resistors to the negative side with wires, and the push button to the positive side with another wire. And after placing the second and the last push button, he takes the power supply module and puts it on the breadboard. And as you can see here, because it's an OR gate, when at least one of the buttons is pressed on, the lamp turns on. This, we are done with our second gate, and then we're moving on to the third, which is AND. As the first step of the AND gate being built, 2 push buttons are being placed next to each other on the board. Then we took 2 wires, which are going to help us with connecting the push buttons to the positive side. After this, he takes 2 of the 2000 ohm resistors and 2 NPN transistors and places them above the 2 push buttons. And after connecting these 2 transistors, he takes the last one and connects it to the negative side. Then he takes the last one of the 2000 ohm resistors and places it on the board right before placing our lamp. Then later, as usual, places the 330 ohm resistor next to it. Then, after being done with all the connections, he takes the power supply module and places it on the board. And as we can see here, unless we press both the buttons, the lamp does not turn on. And finally, after being done with all 3 base gates, we are going to show our collaboration with Dear Team 50, which we helped each other with the NAND gate. Here, our AND gate is already built beforehand. I'm going to watch one of the members of the Team 50 building NOT gate with the same steps mentioned in the first part of the video. And after connecting these two boards, see that just like the opposite of the AND gate, unless we're pressing both of the buttons, our lamp is on. With this, finally we're done with all the gates. Thanks to my teammates and at the end to Team 50, we were able to record this video and we were able to succeed with all the gates. And we hope you enjoyed watching it.